Many years ago, in the lively city of Port Harcourt, lived a man named Tamuno, who was a well-known electrical engineer and devoted family man. Tamuno was a good man and the kind of husband every woman prayed for. He was gentle, always home by 6 p.m. and never forgot his wife's birthday. He was married to Furo, a calm, God-fearing and intelligent woman. Furo was not only his wife, she was also his peace. She respected him, trusted him, and believed he could do nothing wrong. They had 2 children, attended church every Sunday together, and prayed together before sleeping each night. Their marriage was peaceful. Well, too peaceful according to his best friend Priye. Priye was a bachelor in his mid-30s who believed that marriage was a trap created by women to slow men down. He was loud, funny, and full of dangerous advice. Tamuno and Priye had been friends since secondary school. Priye knew everything about Tamuno, from the day he met Furo to the day he proposed. He was even the best man at their wedding. But lately, Priye had started preaching a strange gospel. Guy, I don't understand you. So you mean you will never touch another woman apart from Furo? Do you want to die of boredom? Tamuno laughed. Why should I? I have all I need at home. Priye scoffed. Abeg, leave that thing. Don't you know variety is the spice of life? You just need one side chick to refresh your engine differently once in a while. Tamuno always brushed it off. He loved his wife and he also loved his life. But Priye's words were like dripping water on a rock, small but steady. Tamuno was human, and little by little, Priye's words began to enter his ears. It started small. He began to notice some of the women at work. He noticed that one secretary who always complimented his perfume. However, he tried to overlook it until one Friday evening. Furo had traveled to Bonny Island for a women's conference and the kids were at their auntie's place. Tamuno was home alone when Priye called. Guy, I'm at one cool spot at GRA. Come out and relax small now. At first, Tamuno said no, but the house was too quiet and his phone kept blinking with Priye's messages. So he agreed and headed out. He got to the lounge. Music was playing. Drinks were flowing and ladies were laughing too loudly. Tamuno felt awkward at first. He didn't like loud places or loud women. But then she walked in. Her name was Tonye. She was tall, gentle, and dressed in a fitted blue gown that moved like breeze on water. She wasn't like the others. She didn't laugh loud, and she didn't force herself into conversations. She just smiled, ordered a drink, and scrolled her phone. Priye leaned over and said, see that one? She's classy, not like these noisemakers. That's the kind of babe you need for a small variety. Just go and talk to her. Tamuno shook his head. No, I am just admiring from afar. Priye smiled. Guy, don't worry. I will help you open the door. You then decide whether to enter or not. Before Tamuno could stop him, Priye had walked over and whispered something to Tonye. Then he pointed back at Tamuno. Tonye looked up, smiled politely and waved. Tamuno waved back. That night, Tamuno and Tonye talked. Not for long though, just small gist and small laugh before exchanging numbers. Tamuno didn't call Tonye that night. He told himself it was a harmless conversation. She was just being polite and he was just admiring her beauty, nothing more. But the next day, as he sat at work trying to finish a proposal, her face kept appearing in his head like a flashback in a Nigerian movie. Her soft eyes and her gentle smile. He shook his head. Tamuno, behave yourself. But by evening, he found himself typing a text message. Hi, This is Tamuno from the lounge last night. I just wanted to say, you looked really nice yesterday. He stared at the message for 2 minutes and then pressed send. Toye replied 5 minutes later, "Oh, thank you. You are not bad looking yourself." Now, that was all it took. What started as harmless chatting became daily conversations. Toye was always available, always sweet, and always calling him dear. She never asked about his wife, and she never judged. She simply gave him a special attention, and Tamuno felt he was starved enough to enjoy it. The phone calls and messages soon graduated into physical dates. Tamuno told himself, "It's just coffee, I'm not cheating. I'm just meeting with a friend." He showed up, sat with her, laughed with her, and left feeling lighter. Then came another meetup, and another, and another. However, by the 3rd week, Tamuno had crossed the line. It happened at a guest house on the outskirts of town. He had gone there with a plan to discuss their situationship and to set clear boundaries. But Toye was in a short gown, soft perfume, and with a soft voice she said, "Don't worry, I am not asking you to marry me. Just let's keep each other company." Tamuno didn't speak, and his silence was all the answer she needed. The moment he got home that night, Tamuno couldn't look Furo in the eye. She served him dinner like always, checked if he took his BP drugs, and told him his mother had called. But her love stung more than judgment now. He lay on the bed wide awake that night and prayed, "God, please forgive me. This will be the last time." And he meant it, because 2 days later, he sent Toye a short message. "I can't continue. I made a mistake. You are a great person, but I love my wife. Please understand." Toye didn't reply immediately, and he took a deep breath of relief. Maybe she understood. Maybe she was mature. Maybe this nightmare was over. Until 10 p.m. that night, when she replied, "Oh, so you finished with me now? Just like that? After everything? You think you can taste and disappear? I am not that type." Tamuno froze. He sent his reply immediately. "What do you mean? Please don't start." Toye replied, "Start? I have not even begun." And she was right. The next morning, a dispatch rider came to Tamuno's office carrying a small cooler labeled "Delivery for Mr. Tamuno." He opened it, and inside was a bowl of steaming native soup, a note, and a picture of Toye in a red dress. The note read, "For my king, I cooked this with love. Miss you already." Tamuno almost fell backward from shock. His secretary smiled. "Oh, sir, your wife really loves you." He laughed awkwardly. Yes, she's very loving." From then on, Toye began to text him non-stop. She would send him voice notes and photos of herself. "Where are you? Are you alone? Do you miss me?" She appeared at his office gate one evening as he was about leaving and waved at him from across the road. She even joined the gym near his house. One day, while he was buying suya, he heard a voice. "You didn't tell me you liked peppered meats." Tamuno turned, and there was Toye, smiling like a cat that just caught a fish. Tamuno dropped his suya and almost screamed. That night, Tamuno couldn't breathe properly. He was sweating, and his heart was racing. He called Priye. "Priye, I am finished." "What happened?" "That girl, Toye, she's everywhere. She's threatening my peace." Priye laughed at first, until Tamuno told him everything. "Oh, more!" Priye exclaimed. "I told you to eat pepper soup now, not to carry Jezebel from the river. Didn't you check her spiritual background?" "This is not funny, Priye." I know, but calm down. You need to be smart now. This one na monitoring spirit with data." Oh. Tamuno sighed deeply. "What do I do?" Priye paused. Okay, relax. We'll find a solution. By the next week, Tamuno had lost weight, not from diet or gym, but from pure stress. You know the type of stress that was implied when they said the wicked runneth when no man pursueth them. Exactly. Unfortunately for him, his wife had no idea. How would he even tell her? Every knock on his office door gave him mini heart attack. Every call from an unknown number made his palms sweat. And when his wife Furo looked him in the eye and asked, "Are you okay?" he would smile and say, "Yes, I am just tired." But he was not okay, not even close at all, because Toye was everywhere in his life, stalking him and choking him. That Monday morning, Tamuno arrived at work, hoping to have a quiet day. But as he entered his office, his receptionist handed him a small, decorated food pack. "Sir, one woman dropped this for you this morning. She said she didn't want to disturb you directly." Tamuno's chest tightened. He opened it and saw jollof rice, goat meat, and a note that read, "Don't stress too much today, baby. Let my food keep you smiling. Forever yours, T." "Did she say her name?" Tamuno asked the receptionist. "No, sir, but she was fine, tall, fair, and she smelled like vanilla." Tamuno nearly fainted. On Tuesday, around lunch, he stepped outside to buy granuts, but as he turned, he saw her. Toye. She was standing by a tree, smiling and holding a bottle of Coke. "Hello, sugar." Tamuno looked around nervously. "What are you doing here?" "I missed you. You've been ignoring my messages." "Toye, I told you it is over. Leave me alone." But Toye smiled wider. "You can't say that, but your eyes are still talking to me." Tamuno turned and ran back into the building, but behind him, she shouted playfully, "I will see you tomorrow, my love." And oh yes, she did, because that Wednesday evening, Furo told Tamuno that they should go for midweek service together. He quickly agreed, believing that maybe church would calm his nerves. They sat on the second row together and joined hands during worship. Tamuno was singing peacefully when he felt something, a familiar scent. He turned, and right there in the third row, just behind them, was Toye, dressed in a red gown with red lips and red nails. She smiled at him, and Tamuno nearly dropped the hymn book. His voice started to crack during the next chorus. Furo noticed. "Are you okay?" He nodded too fast. Yes, just dry throat." After service, Toye walked past them slowly and whispered to Tamuno, "You are mine forever. You can't hide, even in God's house." On Thursday, Toye called him. He didn't want to pick, but he was tired of running. Her voice was cold when she spoke up. "So, this is what you want, right? You want to treat me as if I am mad. You think you can use me and dump me like tissue?" Tamuno swallowed hard. "Toye, please, I am a married man. This can't continue." She hissed. "You should have thought about that before entering my bed, before calling me baby girl and eating from my pots." Tamuno kept quiet. "You think your wife won't find out? I am only one text away from destroying your precious marriage." Tamuno froze. "Please, don't do this, please." Toye laughed. "You will hear from me soon." And then she hung up. Tamuno sat on the floor that night, holding his head and crying silently. That same night, he had a terrible dream. Toye was chasing him in a wedding gown, shouting, I do, while Furo threw Bible verses at him like arrows. He woke up panting with a stifled scream. Luckily for him, he didn't wake Furo up. If not, he would have explained tire, no evidence. At this point, Tamuno knew he couldn't do this alone anymore. The next morning, he called Priye at work. "Guy, this girl is going to destroy me," Tamuno shouted over the phone. Priye yawned. "What is it again?" "Do you know she followed me to church? She threatened to tell my wife. She is even in my dreams." Priya sat up. "Eh? Are you serious?" "Guy, I think you need to tell your wife at this point, so." Tamuno shouted, "Are you okay? My wife? She will bury me alive." Priya shrugged. "See, all die na die. It is either you die slowly from stress or die once and find peace. Pick one because this Jezebel you are describing is very deadly." Oh. That evening, Furo brought his food to the sitting room as usual. She smiled and said, "You look tired. Do you want me to massage your shoulders?" Tamuno looked at her and his stomach turned with guilt. He couldn't take it anymore. He dropped his spoon, took her hand and said in a shaking voice, "Furo, I need to tell you something." Tamuno held Furo's hands as if it was his last connection to life. She sat across from him and her eyes narrowed slowly. "Talk," she said. Tamuno gulped. He wished he could faint and disappear, but it was too late now. He had to face it. He closed his eyes and forced the words out. "I cheated." There was silence. "I met someone, just once, but she won't leave me alone." Furo blinked. "You what?" Tamuno knelt down immediately and began to shake like a nervous goat. I know, I'm a fool. I made a terrible mistake. She was nothing serious, just small temptation. But now she's haunting me like a spirit. She shows up at my office, sends food, came to church. Church, Furo. She says if I don't come back to her, she will scatter everything." Furo looked at him like she was watching a documentary titled "How to be Useless in 7 Steps." Then, slowly, she stood up. Tamuno shut his eyes. "Please, don't throw something at me." She didn't move for a long moment. Then, she walked out of the room. Tamuno waited. 10 minutes passed. 20 minutes. But she didn't return. Tamuno sat down and his sweat soaked through his singlet. That night, Furo didn't say a word. She didn't shout or cry. She simply took her pillow and slept in the children's room. For 2 days, she ignored Tamuno. She served his food without looking at his face. She answered his questions with one word. She walked past him like he was part of the furniture, and Tamuno was dying quickly from inside. He preferred shouting to this ice-cold silence, maybe crying or even a slap. And then, on the 3rd day, Furo called him into the living room and said, "Sit." Tamuno sat like a child waiting for discipline in school. She folded her arms. "You said she's stalking you." "Yes." "She knows where you work." "Yes." "She said she would expose everything." "Yes." Furo nodded slowly and then said something Tamuno never expected. "Good. Then let's deal with her." Tamuno almost choked on his breath. You want to fight her?" he stammered. "No, I can't stoop that low," Furo said calmly. "I want to end her games." Tamuno stared silently. She walked over and sat beside him. "I am your wife." "Am I angry?" "Yes, I am." "Hurt?" "Yes. But I am also smart. I don't want this girl showing up in my children's school and calling me co-wife. If we don't finish her, she'll finish us, and I don't want any of that." Tamuno blinked. Do you forgive me?" Furo looked at him. "That is a story for another day. First, let's get her out of the picture." Later that night, Priya came over and Tamuno briefed him when Furo walked in with her notepad and said, "Gentlemen, let's plan." Priya looked at Tamuno and whispered, "Guy, your wife is cold though. I fear this one past the side cheek." Furo ignored them. She laid out the plan like a detective. will bait her. Tamuno will pretend that he wants her back. He will set up a private meeting in a hotel. When she gets there, we'll give her the kind of scare that will chase her back to her village barefoot. Priye raised his hand. What kind of scare? Furo smiled. Let's just say we are joining Nine sacrifice. Someone will have to be Kanayo or Kanayo. Tamuno's mouth was wide open. Wait, we are staging a ritual? Furo nodded. A fake one. Just to show her that you are not ordinary. She wants madness, right? Well, let's give her witchcraft deluxe. Priye clapped. Ah, madam, I like you. They set the date and the plan began. Tamuno called Tonye the next morning and said, I've been thinking, I miss you. Tonye's voice immediately lit up like generator. Oh, baby, I knew you'd come back. Tamuno smiled. Let's meet. Elimu Hotel, room 14 tomorrow night. Tonye giggled. My odogu, I am coming hot. He hung up and whispered to himself, Lord, I know I am a sinner, but tomorrow, help me act like a wizard one last time. By Friday, the stage was set. The room was dim, but everything was clear enough for the madness that was about to begin. Tamuno sat on the edge of the bed, wearing a black shirt and trying to look like a man who missed his side chick, but also trying not to sweat his soul out. Priya was in the hotel bathroom, dressed like an occult priest from an Asaba Nollywood film. He was dressed in red robe, with white chalk on his face, cow tail in one hand, and palm frond tied around his wrists. Even Tamuno was scared when he saw him. Priya, are you sure you are not a real ritualist? Tamuno asked. Priya scoffed. Today, I am whatever will chase this girl far from Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, Furo sat outside in a car across the street, watching the entire room on a live video feed from the hidden camera she had installed earlier. She had a pack of delicious popcorn in her lap. This was better than Netflix. At exactly 8:07 p.m., the knock came. Knock, knock. Tamuno opened the door slowly and smiled nervously at Tonye, who was dressed in a fitted yellow dress with red lipstick and makeup shiny like oil. My odogu, she said as she walked in. Tamuno smiled. You are welcome. I have missed you. He locked the door behind her. Tonye threw her bag on the table and turned to him with open arms. No hug for your baby. Tamuno forced a hug. She held him tighter. So, you finally came to your senses. Yes, I am sorry it took this long. Let's celebrate. Let me freshen up first. He went into the bathroom and whispered to Priye, She's ready. Please don't overdo it. Priye adjusted his fake beads. Go and hide behind the curtain. Just leave the rest to me. Tamuno stepped out, faking a smile. Give me 1 minute, he said. I'll be right back. He quickly moved behind the curtain and then the lights went off. Candles flickered and wind blew through the air conditioner vents. Tonye blinked and stood up. Tamuno. But no answer came. Suddenly, the bathroom door burst open with force and Priye stepped out. He was unrecognizable. He looked extra tall and terrifying. His eyes were wide, with white chalk dripping and red robe flowing behind him like a demon from the underworld. He raised his cow tail and shouted, Ha 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 ha! The sacrifice has entered. Tonye screamed, Blood of Jesus! Priye banged his staff on the floor and thundered, The blood of the unfaithful shall speak. He turned to the candle and blew white powder into the air. Tamuno, who was behind the curtain, was already choking from stifled laughter. Priye continued, You, Tonye, spirit from the river, child of manipulation, today your soul shall be used for the terrestrial beings. Tonye jumped up. Who are you? Priye shouted. Bring the chicken. From the bathroom, he pulled out a tray with a dead chicken, a small calabash, and red oil. Tonye screamed and tried to open the door, but it was locked. She ran to the window, and it was locked too. She began to shout, "Holy Ghost fire, back to sender, every demonic altar, collapse." Priye walked in slow circles, chanting fake words. Olobomokumo, abarakatata, gigbe, gigbe, gigbe. Toye dropped to her knees and begged, "Please don't kill me. I didn't know he was a ritualist. Please don't sacrifice me." Priye raised the cow tail at her. "We are not here to beg. We are here for sacrifice." Furo, who was watching from the car, was laughing so hard that she spilled her popcorn. Tonye saw her life slowly leaving, and so, with all her muzzle, she jumped up, pulled her shoe off, and used it to break the door handle. The door flew open, and just like that, she ran out of the room, down the hotel hall, and into the streets barefoot. Her wig flew off behind her, but she didn't stop, neither did she look back. Tamuno came out from behind the curtain, laughing so hard. "We did it!" Priye was wiping the chalk off his face. "I need an award for this, so." They both dropped on the bed, laughing like fools. Tamuno and Furo silently went back home that night. But while Furo slept like a baby, Tamuno barely slept. Every sound felt like thunder. Every footstep outside the house made him peep through the window like someone expecting the police. Even though Tonye had run like a thief at midnight, he still wasn't fully convinced she wouldn't show up with a pastor, a cutlass, or both. Furo woke up the next morning, stretched, yawned, and walked into the living room looking fresh. "Good morning, Mr. Sacrifice," she said with a smirk. Tamuno looked up from the couch nervously. "Furo, what if she comes back?" Furo sat down and poured herself a cup of water. "She's not coming back. She won't even step foot in this town again. But just to make sure, you call her." Tamuno's eyes widened. "Call who? The same girl that nearly broke my life?" Furo calmly drank her water. "You will call her. Put the phone on speaker. We'll finish it properly." Tamuno took a deep breath, picked up his phone, and dialed. Just when he thought she wouldn't answer, Tonye's voice came through sharp, nervous, and defensive. "Hello?" "Tonye," Tamuno said calmly. "Tamuno, you! Don't call this number again in your life." "Why did you run last night?" he asked, pretending to be hurt. "You left me there. You even offended the high priest." "What? You think I don't know what you are doing? You and your occultic group. You wanted to use me for sacrifice." "Sacrifice? No, it was just the beginning now. They will still need your picture for the final stage." "I rebuke you!" Tonye screamed so loud that the speaker shook. "You are mad. I am a child of God. I have already packed my bags. I am leaving Port Harcourt tonight. You and your high priest will never see me again. If you try me again, I will call my pastor and call down fire from heaven. Don't call me again, you devil." With that, she ended the call and blocked his number. Furo fell off the chair and burst into laughter. "Ha! I told you, if I handle her, she will change her name and run from the city." That night, Tamuno cooked noodles for the family to show appreciation. As he served it, Furo sat with her leg crossed and looked him dead in the eye. "Listen carefully. The next time you put your head in fire, I will help the fire burn you completely." Tamuno nodded obediently. "I won't try it again, I swear." Finally, peace had returned to the Tamuno's household like cool breeze after a heavy rain. He now came home early, stopped hanging around Priye too much, and even joined the midweek prayer team at church for spiritual coverage. One evening, after dinner, Tamuno knelt beside Furo in the living room while she was scrolling through her phone. "My love," she looked at him. "Yes? I want to say thank you for everything, for saving our marriage and for saving my life." She scoffed. You are lucky I am a woman of God, she said. Tamuno nodded like a lizard. Yes, I am very lucky, Furo continued. I have forgiven you, but let this be the first and last time I have to chase a Jezebel out of our lives. I promise from now on, it is you or nobody, Tamuno said. Priye came over on Sunday afternoon with a cooler of catfish pepper soup. He greeted Furo with two hands together and said, Madam, I respect you. You deserve an award for Wife of the Year. I'm telling you. Furo smiled. No problem. Just make sure you keep your advice to yourself next time. Priya nodded. Yes, ma'am. No more advice from me. From now on, it is only drink water and mind your wife. They all laughed. That night, Tamuno stood by the window looking out into the calm Port Harcourt night. He thought about how close he had come to losing everything. His home, his wife, and his sanity. All for what? For a few minutes of stolen attention? He shook his head and told himself, I have been a foolish man. But from now on, I will be the priest of this house, and there will be no female ushers in my ministry. Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. What did you learn from the story? And what did you love about the story? Give the story a thumbs up and share the story out with your loved ones. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye!